First elected to the Vermont legislature in 1962, Arthur Gibb has had a profound impact on the Vermont we know today. Art was involved in passing legislation to ban billboards, enact the state's bottle deposit law, regulate junkyards, and modernize statutes governing local and regional planning. He served on the commission that laid the groundwork for Act 250 and served 12 years on the Vermont Environmental Board, including 1 year as chair. Since 2006, VNRC has been honoring Art's legacy by recognizing a Vermont resident who embodies qualities similar to his, and who has made a lasting contribution to his or her community, region, or state in advancing smart growth policies. A native New Englander, Elisabeth Kulas began her career in housing at the Rockingham Area Community Land Trust. At 25, she took the helm as executive director of the Housing Trust of Rutland County and has been there ever since. She has devoted more than 20 years promoting smart growth, energy efficiency, renewable energy, affordable housing, and strong communities. Elisabeth has much in common with Art. From the beginning, Elisabeth has been a leader and a problem solver. As the sole employee, she stepped into a floundering organization and addressed organizational issues head-on. She tackled and completed her first big project, the Adams House in Fairhaven, with smarts and skills well beyond her years. In the late 1990s, she boldly led the trust to be the first nonprofit in the state to use USDA Rural Development 515 funds at the Hopkins Street Development Project. Following the successful completion of several housing projects from 1996 to the early 2000s, she found herself in 2004 as the construction manager on 4 major projects: the Tuttle property, the School Street Apartments, the Mussey Mobile Home Park expansion, and the Colonial Apartments. All of these complex projects required careful balancing of goals, priorities, local permitting challenges, and dollars. She did it all well, and while 7 months pregnant. Faced with the closing of 3 mobile home parks in Clarendon from 1999 to 2007 and the loss of 42 mobile home lots, Elisabeth worked with the Select Board and NeighborWorks to develop and execute resident-driven solutions, a one-of-a-kind strategy that allowed residents, clearly her top priority, to choose where they wanted to go next: a house, an apartment, or move their mobile home. She went to the state not once, not twice, but 3 times to convince them that the program was going to work. There were days when her level of commitment meant that her companion at the mobile home park was her 2.5-year-old son. In 2009, Elisabeth learned that Senator Bernie Sanders had secured funding from the Department of Energy for Efficiency Vermont to do a demonstration project. The project needed to be shovel-ready and demonstrate a significant reduction in greenhouse gases. With only 2.5 hours to find a project, Elisabeth and architect Laz Skangas had the vision to see how this could become a reality at the Stanislaus School. With the triple goals of historic preservation, affordable housing, and energy conservation, the project has become a model project in HUD's toolkit for partner municipalities. Now, the Trust aims for the highest level of energy efficiency and renewables in all projects going forward. Elisabeth knows that finding the right partners and funding sources are critical to the work that she does. In putting the Watkins School project together, Elisabeth didn't shy away from going outside of Vermont and partnering with the National Equity Fund. Today, the Watkins School is a beautiful, affordable housing project that brings great value to the neighborhood and community. It will also be the first project in the state to use photovoltaic panels for on-site electricity.
Elisabeth doesn't take no for an answer. When we started working on the Watkins Avenue School, the minute Elisabeth showed up at the site, I knew we were in good hands. We had the best person that we could have had to take on the challenge of keeping that building in the community. And she worked with us, the Preservation Trust of Vermont. She worked with the school district, the city, the mayor, the city council, and navigated her way into saving the building and creating 14 units of affordable housing there. It was really a challenging project. A lot of us thought it might not happen, but Elisabeth was able to make that happen.
Elisabeth confesses that her greatest weakness is her struggle with being recognized for the good work that she does, and that she hasn't done a good job of making sure that the public is aware of what the Housing Trust of Rutland County does. Still, when presented with the opportunity to share one of her passions, playing the organ, she decided to do it only as a benefit for the Housing Trust of Rutland County. Elisabeth Kulas has overseen more than 20 major housing projects and a portfolio of projects worth over $37.8 million. Her work in housing and conservation has been a steady economic driver in the region, contributing $4 million a year to the local economy in addition to new project investments.
I think the real proof of what Elisabeth does and the work that she does is what residents say about the properties and the pride that they have in their homes. We stopped by Watkins School on our board bus trip and got a tour of the building, and one of the residents was there, and he talked about how excited he was to live in this magnificent, beautifully restored historic building. He was so proud and so appreciated the beauty of this place. And we all need beauty in our lives, and Elisabeth has provided that beauty to a lot of people in Rutland County.
When she started her job, Elisabeth was gifted a plant by the board chair. It lives in her office, and she considers it the thermometer of her organization. That plant is now thriving, and so is the Housing Trust of Rutland County, thanks to Elisabeth Kulas' leadership, creativity, vision, and commitment that is recognized by the Arthur Gibb Award.
And by the way, Elisabeth, Paul has 3 more projects waiting in the wings for you.